What's up? It's Mike Fitz from the band Bad Marriage, and you are listening to the Brutally Delicious Podcast.
1, 2, 3, 4. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast.
There we go.
I'm Bruce. That's my partner, Rena.
Hey guys,
Where are you?
I'm Mike.
I am in our shuttle bus. We are in Oklahoma. We got a show tonight with we're on that tour with Enuff's Enough and
Right.
The Quireboys. So yeah, we got about a 4-hour drive starting around 11 o'clock. So
Yikes. How are you dealing with this? How are you dealing with this insane weather?
Well, where are you guys out of?
I'm in Richmond. Rena's in Finland.
Oh, awesome. Well, it's really hot here. I mean, we actually drove through a tornado the other day somewhere.
Oh, wow.
I forget where we were. Yeah, it was insane. Like literally we drove right through it. It was crazy.
Like you actually saw the spinning air and everything?
Yeah, we like posted pictures and stuff. It was,
oh, wow.
Yeah, it was insane. Yeah, it was, and they, it was all over the news and stuff, but we were all fine. It was just crazy for about half an hour. But it's just been crazy hot, and we got 5 shows in Texas starting tomorrow. So we got decent AC in this thing, and so we'll be all right.
You do anything different to try and keep up with the weather or the heat?
Not really. Just just make sure we have a generator in the back here in the bus that cools the area down where we can hang out, and the front, well, someone's driving is cool. So it's just hang in there. I'm used to it. We're used to the hot summers.
Right. How's the shows going so far?
They all been pretty great. The last one we did was a festival we jumped on. So the touring package I mentioned, we jumped on with Winger and Orianthe. It was outside. It was pretty cool. But yeah, they all been really cool. We've been doing well, getting new fans, selling a lot of merch, and rocking out. So it's been fun.
Nice, Rena.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have been together since 2015, right?
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
We're kind of nearing the first decade milepost. So how would you maybe describe the what's the word the like cycle of drama, or like how it has like progressed within 10 years?
As long as we keep climbing, whether it's baby steps or big steps, just I tell the guys, as long as number one, we're having fun, right? As long as everybody on the team wants to be on the team and is positive, and as long as, I know it sounds cliche, but as long as the good, outweighs the bad of being in this band, I mean, it's not always financially great. It's not always, mentally great, but as long as we enjoy what we do with writing songs and playing on stage together, those are the two things that I would think keep a band together, from the heart. If we all like the music that we're creating and like each other, you can't hate each other, and everyone's pretty positive. And we've done some extensive touring the past couple of years. We've done about 50 shows with Tesla. We just got off a tour with Buck Cherry. And now we're doing 23 dates in July. I mean, we don't really have any days off. And if it's a day off, it's a day to travel long hours. It's not a day off to just do whatever you want. It's right. Okay. It's a day off. Get in the bus. We got to drive, yesterday we drove 13 hours. So, but again, as long as the good outweighs the bad, and throughout that approaching decade, like you said, as long as we're doing this, we're climbing a little bit, then we feel like we're progressing.
Fair enough. How did you, is the Tesla connection then from opening for them? Because I know there's a massive Tesla connection here with Jeff.
Yep. Right. With Tommy now on the band and Brian Wheat. But yeah, it started where we got a call again, we're from New England. We're from the Boston area. And we were making some waves around there for a couple of years, bringing a lot of people to shows. And we were getting the call when a lot of national bands of our genre would come in and they needed a local support. So we started doing that. opening up for a lot of different bands. And then we got a call to do 3 shows with Tesla. One was in Boston, one was in New Hampshire, and one was in Maine. And by the second show, their bass player, Brian, called us into a room and, was basically interested, said he liked the way we carried ourselves and, liked the way we sounded. And I just built a relationship with him from there, and he's been one of my best friends since. And he's helped us out a lot. He got us on a bunch of big Tesla tours, supporting them all around the country. So it really helped us. So yeah, that did start the relationship.
And he actually recorded this record, right?
He did. He produced it and he co-wrote it, and he recorded and mixed it. And then I was the mastering engineer on it. So yeah, it was awesome to have him because, before that I did everything. I mixed and produced everything. So it was good to have a different mindset on some songs.
Right. Rita?
Well, you said that even though it isn't always financially or mentally great, well, we all know that, being in a band rarely is financially great.
Right.
Please elaborate on the not mentally great. What kind of challenges or obstacles have you come across in that sense?
Not to be vague, but just life. Everyone has their own situations back home, right? So, you're going to run into, not everyone's going to be in, the perfect mood every day. Someone might be dealing with one of their pets dying right back home, or a family member, or, just a job, maybe looking for a job, maybe getting laid off. Like there's so much stuff that just comes with life, and just being able to deal with everybody when that happens and being there for them, and just, again, trying to keep the overall mood positive, while on the road and while being in a band for this long.
Gotcha. So I've listened to Artificial Mind and I'm blown away. This is kind of right up my wheelhouse. I grew up in that sort of genre. What's been the response to it so far from the fans and from listeners?
Yeah, well, it's still very new. It's been done for a while because we kind of spearheaded that whole thing during the COVID kind of lockdown, shutdown stuff, the regulations. That's when we took the time. We're like, we got to do something. So we flew to Sacramento from Boston, and that's when we started recording it. And that's when Jeff Keith came and sang on 3 of the tunes. And so, it's been done for a while, but it's nice to finally have it out. So it is brand new to people. The response has been great. We do have a lot of songs that we like from our old catalogs that we play live, but we play three of those 5 songs live pretty consistently, and people love them. But I think it's still very new to people. I think, we've been selling a ton of CDs. I know it probably sounds funny, but a lot of people still buy CDs, and we've been moving them by the dozen each show. And to us, that's a lot. I think the response is going to continue to be pretty good.
That's good. And selling that merch keeps you guys on the road, right? Keeps the gas in the tank.
Yeah, you have no idea. We had a very good night at that festival the other night with Winger and on merch. We really did well. So that, that actually refreshes our positive minds too when we do really well. And, because then, you got full gas tanks for a while. You got some, hotels, and you can splurge a little bit on some food, and so it's pretty cool.
Glamorous.
Yeah, exactly.
I have seen that a lot of venues now, I don't know if it's happening here in the US or it's mostly overseas, where their venues are taking like a quarter or 25% of the merch. Have you run into that yet?
We have. I only think we ran into it once on this tour, but it happened a lot on the Tesla tours because they were bigger venues. We were playing 1,500 to 2,500 seaters on those Tesla tours. I think you can equate that sort of stuff to the bigger, more corporate style venues. A lot of times, though, they give the openers breaks on that, or just kind of walk by your table because some people get it. They realize that you're not really getting paid much from these shows, and your survival relies on merch sales.
Right.
So we haven't got shaken down too much by that kind of stuff, but if we do get get to be a bigger band, and I'm sure that's going to affect us at some point.
Wow.
Greetings from Evergreen Podcasts. We're rolling out a listener survey, and we want to hear from you. The information in the survey will help us gather statistics and in turn make our shows more appealing to advertisers. I know most people don't like ads, but this is one of the only ways our shows make money and help keep their lights on. We promise it will only take a few minutes, but the impact on our podcasts will be tremendous. As a token of our appreciation, we'll randomly select one lucky participant each month to win an exclusive merchandise package from Evergreen Podcasts. Head to evergreenpodcast.com/listenersurvey to help a show and possibly get some free stuff for doing so. We can't thank you enough for the support. Now back to the show.
How do you feel about that whole policy? Like, do you think it's granted?
I mean,
okay.
No, I don't. It's never good, especially when it's a tough topic because the venue's providing you the place to play, but if you're not getting paid and the ticket sales are crazy high, I don't know. I think that a band should keep their merch money. I just do. But again, there's pros and cons, and it's a slippery slope with that conversation. But ultimately, I would just like to keep our own profit on merch because we have to buy all the merch. You know what I mean? We built the business, and so it's tough, but we'll see what happens.
Raina?
That was me right there.
All right. So that was you right there. So let's get into the record then. When you guys were writing Bad Marriage, you said you did it sort of during the pandemic. Was it an opportunity to get together and bounce ideas off each other like in a room? Or because of the pandemic, were you emailing everything back and forth?
A little of both, but I had been going to visit Brian Wheat from Tesla. Like I said, he became my buddy, so we would just hang out. And then when we finally agreed, we had this idea of him producing an EP. It was kind of a test. I've been asked before, why didn't you do a full length? And it was just, hey, let's do an EP, and let's see how well we work together. Because I was producing and writing most of the stuff myself, and to have a different entity come on, you never know how it's going to work, and it actually worked really well. Brian's obviously he's been in he's in one of the most legendary bands in my eyes, and he's written some amazing songs. So I was happy to have him on board, and so wasn't the guys. But I think I went alone to his house the one time, and we started. I started playing him some, guitar arrangement things or ideas and stuff that I had on my phone. And I probably went through 20 of them, and he picked out 5 or 6 that he liked, and we ended up using a couple of those little ideas. And then the next time I went and saw him, I brought our singer Johnny. We did more of that kind of stuff. They worked on vocal melodies, on some ideas, and it just kind of went from there. And it just came together like that.
You said that you've normally been doing everything yourself. Was it difficult to turn it over to him? I know he's, legendary or whatever, but was it difficult to turn your
not really, because not really. I mean, when you have a bunch of creative minds, it can be really great, or it can be really frustrating. But it was good. He worked us really good. And again, I'm learning from him. He's got so much more experience than me. So I just kind of sat back, and he would ask me a lot of stuff, my thoughts of stuff, and he listened to what I had to say, whether he kept that idea or not. But I just learned a lot, so I embraced it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Rena?
Where'd you get those glasses, man?
It's funny. These are Ray-Ban, but the green lens are pretty cool. They're just regular Ray-Ban aviators. Yeah. It is so sunny.
You can't go wrong with the aviators.
I never want to show my lack of sleep baggy eyes, so I just throw on the glasses.
What do you guys have planned after this run? Are you still going to be on the road?
So we have a bunch of different shows that have been booked. I don't know if you're going to get into the Tommy Skio thing. from Tesla. He's just joined our band, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to implement writing with him. We already have, but I'm gonna really dive into having him in my recording studio, and we have a bunch of ideas already. He's got a bunch of old ideas. I got old ideas. We're gonna write some new stuff, and so yeah, we're gonna work on new material with him.
Is he doing double duty?
What do you mean double duty?
Is he playing with you guys and Tesla?
No, he hasn't been in Tesla. So he was in Tesla, for 20 plus years, but he is the original guitar player. But they've had Dave Rude in the band, I think, since like 2007-ish, 80. Don't quote me on that, but
right.
It's been a while since Tommy wasn't in that band. But we're happy to have him in our band because he's a really good dude, and he's an insanely great guitar player. He's creative, so.
How did you come across him if he wasn't actually on the road with you guys?
Yeah, that's just a crazier story. But Bad Marriage was playing the Monsters of Rock cruise. Tommy was in a band at the time when was playing on the same cruise. So I'd never met him in person. So I just walked up to him. I think he was in like the casino area, just walking around, and I just introduced myself to him, and we became friends. And it just kind of went from there. We kept in touch, and then we just started talking, sharing guitar parts, and I had posted a video of me working on a new song on Facebook, and he commented on it saying, "Oh, I really dig that riff." So I just said, "Hey, why don't you play some lead guitar on it?" And I sent him the entire song. It didn't have any vocals on it, but it was pretty done. And he sent me guitars back, and it just kicks ass. So we're looking forward to putting that song out too.
That's great. And then so getting back to what you said, so the rest of the year you've got other shows.
Yeah, hopefully we get some more touring opportunities. I don't know if it'll happen with the rest of this year. Maybe it will, but we have a bunch of shows booked. Just one-offs or weekend stuff, and just record new music and put out another album. That's the goal with Tommy.
So are you one of those bands that's always writing when you're on the road or wherever you are, or do you just take
on the road? On the road, it's a little more difficult, but when I'm home, that's all we do. We rehearse a lot, and again, I have my studio right where we practice, so right. We can get ideas down really quick. So so songs come together pretty quick for us. That has never really been a problem. We have a lot of material.
Right. That brings me to the end of mine. Rena, what you got?
No, just maybe fishing for some road dirt. So if you got any juicy anecdotes from all this playing live, please do share.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. This tour has been pretty awesome. Both bands, the Quireboys from London and Enuff's Enuff, have just been amazing. It's been a camaraderie, a family. We hang out whenever we're off stage, and when we see each other at the gig, if we're not staying at the same hotel, when we see each other when we're loading in, like today, we'll see each other at 3. Everyone big hugs, and this tour has been very, very good. Other than it being real hot, we lost some AC for a while. So that kind of sucked, but
that's never,
other than that, just keeping everyone together. Like I mentioned earlier, keeping everyone on the same page mentally, and, picking everyone up if they get down for a little bit. But yeah, there hasn't been any crazy dirt yet or any catastrophes or anything like that. So my fingers are crossed.
Yeah. Hey,
for the next interview, just get ready, stick your dick in a burrito or something.
Yeah, exactly.
If fans want to find you guys, where do they, you want to give us your socials?
Sure. Yeah. The two I mentioned is our regular website. It's badmarriagemusic.com. You can find everything from there. All of our merchandise and our shows and stuff. And we have an official Facebook page. It's just, I think it's Bad Marriage Band. The coolest thing about Facebook is we have a private group called Bad Marriage Society, and it's a private fan page. So we keep it private, not public. So if people want to be there, they're there. They're there if they want to be there, I guess. And we're all the band members are constantly chiming in, talking to our fans and just saying hello and posting stuff. So it's definitely a fun place to be. It's a great community, and I think we got about 3,000, a little over 3,000 people on there. So it's
Nice.
It's fun, and it's a good way to connect with everyone, and people really like it.
Sweet. I think that's going to bring me to the end then. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it.
You got it.
Hey,
Thank
be
you,
well.
Excellent.
Yep. Travel safe, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right,
Exactly.
thanks.
It was lovely meeting you. Have a great day, Mike.
Cheers.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Ever wonder what a punch from Elton John feels like?
Or how you'd cope with having turned down the chance to be in Nirvana?
Or what signal Keith Richards gives when he wants you to get the hell out of his hotel room?
Fans of Too Much Effing Perspective don't have to wonder, because they've heard these exact stories and a jillion others on our podcast. I'm Alex Hoffman, former tour manager for Radiohead.
And I'm musician and comedy writer Alan Keller. On the TMEP show, we get guests like Nancy Wilson from Heart, Jeremiah Freites from the Lumineers, and Modern Family's Julie Bowen to tell us things they may have only shared with their therapist, clergy, or a TMZ stringer.
So join us on Too Much Effing Perspective. That's EFFING Perspective. The only podcast you crank up to 11.